High stat armor is very easy to get right now, even as a solo player. So I'm going to go over 3 fast and easy armor farms that can take your build from this to this. I'm Marshix, and I make videos that 1% of people really hate. If you enjoy, all I ever ask for is just a like down below. There's a way to get free artifice armor every few minutes. In the new Vespers host dungeon, you can skip the first encounter, but still get its loot. A lot of people have been talking about this, so I don't know who discovered it first, but I found out about this from Cheese Forever's video. What you need to do is load up the dungeon on Master, get to the first encounter, start the encounter by interacting with this ball, then follow the path I take to go out of bounds. You will need Salvation's Grip to get back in bounds, so grab that and rally if you need to. Once you get here, slowly walk forward and slightly to the left until you feel your character take a step up. If you go too far, you might fall and get stuck, so try and take it slow. Then you need to pull out Salvation's Grip and shoot it right here on this line. Destroy all the crystals except for the tiny one, then use the small crystal as a step to get on the ledge behind it. Go down a bit, then drop down into the right wall. Crouch down and go under some pipes, and you're officially back in the map. So the way the first encounter works is you're supposed to dunk 3 balls, but the game doesn't check where the balls are dunked, so whenever you complete the next part where you're supposed to dunk 5 balls, the game will see those happen and complete the first encounter after you do your first 3. So this gives you your loot in a fraction of the time and with very little effort. If you aren't familiar with this next part, you just need to kill the captains to get the balls, then take those balls to the corresponding boxes. This is the path I usually take, and keep in mind, this is Master, so the enemies will still hit very hard. It helps to have some sort of invisibility to just run past everything. So just grab the first ball, then open up the path all the way to the beginning. Then dunk the first ball, and since you already have the path open, you can just run it over to the other 2 boxes. Once you dunk the third bomb, the objective will complete, and your loot will be sitting on the ground at first encounter. You can walk all the way back and grab it, but it's much faster to just go to orbit and let it go to your postmaster. Doing this on normal mode can give you high stat armor, Master can give you high stat artifice armor, and both difficulties have a chance to give you the Chill Inhibitor grenade launcher, which is the best grenade launcher in the game currently, a crappy fusion rifle, and Velocity Baton, which is an area denial grenade launcher that creates tons of orbs of power and charges your Transcendence energy insanely fast. Now just go to orbit and reset the checkpoint if you're solo, or if you have a friend or a second account that can hold the checkpoint for you, you can skip the opening section and save a few minutes. Now I know a lot of people don't have access to the dungeon or just don't want to farm the dungeon, so for those people there's a much simpler way to get high stat armor. If you talk to Failsafe in the Destroyed Helm, you'll be given the Legacy Hunter's Journal. Holding on to this will allow Echo engrams to drop from just about every activity in the game. This means you'll passively be earning these while you just play the game like normal, and they're very common, so you'll build up a stockpile of these in no time. Or if you do want a direct farm for them, Legend Lost Sectors, Trials of Osiris, the first encounter of the Prophecy Dungeon, and the first encounter of the Vespers Host Dungeon are all fast activities that can drop these engrams. So if you're just going for a large quantity of activities, these are the things you should focus on. Well, honestly, don't burn yourself out by doing this, you'll get them eventually anyway. Now, if you played episode Echoes, one of the first things you unlocked was armor focusing at Failsafe. This allows you to purchase armor for 2 engrams. Doing so will give you guaranteed high stat armor. The lowest it can be is 60 total, and it goes all the way up to 68 total. And since you should have a bunch of engrams anyway, you can buy a lot of these, and you're bound to get some really good pieces like this. Now, unlike old seasonal vendors, you will only get high stat armor from these focus pieces. If you purchase the random gear next to it, none of that gear will be high stats, only the actual armor pieces to the right. So just play the game and do whatever it is you do, then every once in a while, stop by good old Failsafe and grab some decent armor. Now, there is one other farm that is much faster and drops better armor more consistently, but unfortunately, you will need either a friend or a second account to hold a checkpoint, and it's only farmable for 1 week every month or so. But during that week, you better get to farming, because this is where the majority of my best armor came from. The final boss of the Pit of Heresy dungeon is very easy to farm, and it drops high stat armor with 2 guaranteed stat spikes. This means 2 stats will have a minimum of 16 points, and they can get even higher than that. And since this boss has very little health, you can easily one-phase this with just 1 person, and it only takes about 2 minutes from start to finish. You just have to kill the 3 yellow bar enemies around the room, dunk their balls in the middle, then dunk your balls in the boss's face, and get your guaranteed armor. Right now, you can do this once per character per week, and on weeks where it's one of the featured dungeons, you can farm this checkpoint over and over and build up a huge collection of really good armor. It's technically not better than Artifice armor, but this is a much more casual and fast farm that gives guaranteed stat spikes. So you are much more likely to get amazing pieces of armor in a fraction of the time. Now that you have some really good armor, you can make some incredible combos like infinite ammo weapons, really long supers, and quadruple damage. But you'll have to check out this video to see how. Thanks for watching, I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.